Salutations, everybody! What's a crackin' on this fine Friday evening? And getting the gun ahead of me there and enjoying the weekend before the weekend has started, would you believe? But it's time for us to go again. Completely, 100% doing FM today, not because I'm a lazy sod who couldn't be arsed changing the titles of all of the streams, but because I was in the groove with our particular save and wanted to continue forthwith and for such, because as you can see, ladies, gentlemen, and technicolor rainbow in between, we're actually on a good run of form. Our last game against Kadinsk, we ended up winning 7-0. And we can end up doing that without having an egotistical man who managed to learn Spanish when he wasn't intending on joining the club at all, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Without having an overbearing father like Rikishi, who's turning around stating that the world is on fire for his son not being the world heavyweight champion, and that it is an absolute disgracia that Jey Uso isn't still the world heavyweight champion. And of course, we ended up hearing that two monstrosities of signings have come into place. Barcelona have signed Juan Gracia, a nice young goalkeeper, 25 million quid. Could have been an option for United if we'd managed to get Onana out of the door. And one, would you believe, Faustin Mastantino has joined Real Madrid for pittance. Absolute pittance. I love that kid. Genuinely, every time I end up seeing him play, looks like he's going to be an absolute star. I'm happy Real Madrid have gotten him. It worries me a bit. It concerns me a tad. I would have loved to have seen him with United, but I completely 100% understand why he isn't. Damn it. Un momento, por favor. Okay, cool. That should end up working. I completely understand why he isn't, even though it's annoying to me, because he's the type of player I would have loved to have seen, and who knows, maybe he could have broken the curse for United, and we could have had a player from South America perform good for us for the first time in about 20 years. Casemiro's performing grand for us, but he hasn't been reaching the potential that he deserves to end up going at to. I don't remember the last time we've had a South American achieve the potential that they ended up having in Yonks, to be honest, and it's an unfortunate set of circumstances for us. In fairness, it's bad that Jay lost because they want Goldberg versus Gunther to have a championship match. I wouldn't wish playing for United on my worst enemy. You are a mean individual, Blockbuster, but we've always known that. That's why we know better than to listen to your opinion for most things. But to be fair, I mean, was it working, Jey Uso as World Heavyweight Champion either? That's an interesting question, because Cena was obviously leaps and bounds ahead of him in terms of championship material. That was clear from the two of them standing across from each other. In the tag team match that ended up happening, it was blatantly obvious that Jey Uso, out of the three individuals in the match, and I realize Blockbuster and Up, you're going to hate that I state this, but in order, it was John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, and Jey Uso in terms of their charisma and their star power. Your champion not being the best, being even in near the top of the competitors in a tag team contest like that, does leave a lot to be desired. If Gunther's given a proper opportunity, he could end up cooking. I'm happy to see it, although, to be honest, am slightly upset. I realize we're getting CM Punk versus John Cena, and John Cena forcing CM Punk to bite his laurels and go to Saudi Arabia for the match. If they play up that, I'm going to love it. But to be honest, even though it would have been a heaping pile of fecal exchange, I would have preferred to see Monsieur Gullibag versus Juan Cena, don't you know? Do you want to know what's worse about that? The thing that annoys me the most about that is the cracking of the goddamn audio at the start of it. I have done a lot of stuff to hope to ensure that the audio shouldn't creak and spike like that, because I have a rather loud, bassy voice that can sometimes crackle the microphone. And the fact that it's still doing it is, for lack of a better word, bull. But what can you do? You move with what you have and you continue to go forward. Anyway, for now, we'll continue forward and see what ends up happening. We're going into another okay contest. We will see what ends up happening in this Spanish Third Cup round. El Celio are what division? They're First Division B, so they're at least one below us. So we'll go with a substantially weaker team in this particular occasion. Partially because we can, mostly because why not? And give a couple of the youths a bit of a chance to end up going. Still have firepower in and around it so that they'll continue to perform. Do I go with a youth as my striking opposition or continue to give Marco a go since he scored 2 goals in the last game? I think you go with the weaker options and come back to Marco later on. So, for now, I think the option, ironically enough, is that we go like this anyway. And we will go from top to finish. So Justin Ulberg will be used. Guller, we'll see. We might bring Guller back around, but we're planning the team for this particular game now. I thought you wanted the Discord to be silenced, Duck. After the effort that we went through in order to silence it for you in the last stream, now you're disappointed at the fact that it isn't there anymore? You are a fickle mistress. Salutations, Benekage, my friend. What is a crack-a-lackin'? How is your start of the weekend going? Is the crack-a-90, is it all good, fine, and delicious on your neck of the woods? Please let us know how you are doing today, my friend. Aaron, now, do explain. We can take out the doctor should we need to. Why is the crack only a 75? Now, I mean, I understand, Benny, why you wouldn't be able to sleep. Listening to my incredible voice salivating your eardrums would make anyone too excited to sleep. So I can understand that you hadn't calmed down from the adrenaline of listening to my epicness for the period of time that you did. And I went a full hour longer than I normally do as well. Unexpected for you. You weren't built up. You weren't ready for that extra intensity of beauty and salivation. So I understand completely why that ended up meaning that you didn't get some sleep. But don't worry, Benny. I'm here for you today. I'll ensure that I am able to keep you up long enough so that you get a proper night's sleep tonight. And all will end up going good. But, Edmund, Florida decided to go overtime again for the 3rd time this series. Is that a showcase that they're performing bad? A showcase that they're performing good? Or what, in what way? Is it a bad thing that they've gone overtime? Or, should they be doing better? in these type of games. Yeah, it does sound a little bit cray-cray now, to be honest. It does sound a little bit delulu. It does sound a little bit creme fraiche. I'm sorry, I hit my own limits of cringe with that particular statement. So I will end up recirculating the bones and end up coming back into the crack. It's a pleasure to say hello to you again, my friend, Senior Crackate. What's all going with you? How is life treating you? Is the crack a 90? Is it all going grand? Is it all going good? Is it all going saucy? How's life treating you, my friend? I think we keep Brim there. I think we try this. It's me being a bit too experimental with the defense. But at the same point in time, they are in the Spanish First Division. Okay? And even with being in the Spanish First Division, they are bottom of the Spanish First Division. So we should be okay with this level of intensity. Now, we just need to make sure that our actual bench is semi-decent, which it does appear to be. We have we have Eduardo and Emery there to end up picking things up if things go bad here. We have Marco there who can end up scoring the goal. Justin, who can end up playing on the wing. Darby, who can end up playing on the wing. So yes, I think we're good enough. I think we go into this game, and we shouldn't have too many. Crack, get your words together. We shouldn't have too many problems connecting all of this together and ensuring that it ends up working. So, cross your fingers and your toes for us as we go in with a weaker team than we probably should end up having. Now, we have been knocked out before with Real Madrid for being gutsy and doing this. So, foolish is a statement that could be properly indicative of what I'm doing here. But I like in these type of situations where you're against a lesser opposition to give the youth a go. And we should be strong enough for this youth to continue on strong and continue to be good. We're in fantastic form. They're inconsistent. They're a division below us, and they're in the bottom of that division. We actually have a fairly strong defensive lineup. And a couple of these youths, although haven't been given many times with Real Madrid are good. So we'll see what ends up happening with them now. So, cross your fingers, your toes, and anything else, and let's see how this ends up going into the game now versus Yelcalano. And we'll see how things end up going. This formation typically is designed to work well against these type of wide blocks as well. We're better with internal blocks, but these wide ones we have a good old way against as well, so that's the handy thing about it. Despite being ninth a few months back, I could possibly come second again, miles off top. Hey, at least you narrowed things up, brought it back to a little bit of security and certainty for yourself, and are able to enjoy it working that type of way. Edmund Adams given way too much space there, but still ended up losing the ball in an atrocious display of attempting to keep it. And did you change the formation in order to get this newfound success? What was that attempt, William? To get this newfound success? Or is it this the same formation and it's finally started to click? Okay, so right now we're still performing better than the opposition. But Understandably, we're kind of missing a cutting edge. Galzeds to Adam. Adam should be doing far, far better than that. Wing is Adam's original position. I know he's been taking more of a cam position as of late, but he needs to be doing significantly better than that at connecting things up. But hey, Andreas ends up getting the goal, a goal that was denied to him on his actual debut, although he was an assistee, I suppose is the way you'd end up saying that, on his actual debut. So there's something to that, I suppose. I think this might actually be Williams' debut as well. So there's the potential that we have a debut assist here as well. 8 shots, 2 on target. In the grand scheme of things, that's not bad for us. Although you'd want to end up having a good bit more solidity in the actual formation and tactic. It's unfortunate that we're missing so many shots, completely just off target. To be actually pressurized enough against a team this low down is not concerning, because nothing's concerning in this match, but annoying more than anything else. Brim there too is another player that, although his position has been swapped from where he has been playing when he's been playing, we want to end up having a good game because he's very, very good for his age. He has immense amount of potential above that of what you would end up expecting for a player of his age, and we'll see what ends up happening there. He could be our new Jude Bellingham if we play him right. But Edmund Adam, and a nice, and I speak of the devil, and he gets the assist. Oh, it's offside. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's what I get for praising him before it ended up finishing up. But Brim with a nice little run now. Nobody there to help him, though. Ooh. Shame that was an atrocious header by Andreas. So is that screenshot you ended up showing there, Duck, your original formation? Or is that from a different save, considering you said you just won FM? I'm assuming that's the original formation, and you're just winning your 7 in a row, and you're counting your chickens before the hatch. And is it still Atletico Pampello who are the top of your league? Or have Barcelona managed to climb back up the upper echelons of the La Liga in your particular save, my friend? Bellingham now. That's disappointing. Now, Jakob getting the goal here is nice. I'm happy that Brim is after getting the goal. Because as I was stating, good player, could be great in the future. A goal will help in his development. I'm not a fan of this goal. I'm not. It's a very... Obviously, it's a tap-in, but I'm not the biggest fan of those type of goals. It doesn't matter if it ends up building them up, but in general, for confidence, I sometimes wonder if IRL, not in the game doesn't give a crap, but IRL, if those type of tap-in goals can actually end up negatively affecting... What the hell was that, Pedro? Negatively affecting the personality and the confidence of a player as opposed to the alternative options. Bounced directly off of the wall. Still, 2-0 up at halftime is good to be at. With an XG of 3.36, you would want it to be better than that. But we have contained them to the point where they've only had one singular shot, and it's been off target. Which, to be honest, is a beautiful situation to end up having. We have them fairly well controlled now. there isn't any particular player that they have there that have been causing trouble that we didn't expect. It's annoying how inconsistent we have been. The 2 goals that we've scored, you would think, considering we have 2 clear-cut chances, came from the clear-cut chances, but obviously because one of them was a tap, and that isn't the case. So in this particular case, one of the goals, one of the clear-cut chances was failed, which is sad, to be honest, but, you know, you deal with what you have. A horrible passing rate from our goalkeeper. Keep an eye on that, because Aaron, although one of the best secondary goalkeepers in the world, in case Jason gets injured for a long period of time, still needs to be able to do the job. And to be fair, he is, but we still want to see those type of things end up improving. Edmund, again, with really bad passing accuracy. The crossing even worse as well. 8 crosses, only 2 successfully achieved. Completed 1 tackle. It did lead to a foul, but who cares about that? And okay early. So, in general, there hasn't really been any bad performances. Carlos here with 9 passes at an 88%, one of them being key. That's sound, but his shooting, only getting 1 shot off, is quite annoying. So Edmund has been taking most of the shots. If that was Foston, we probably might be 2-3 more goals up. But we're grand with what we have there. Analytically, we're like, they're not even on the board. They started a little bit of a spike there, but they're not even on the board. We have been systematically controlling them for the most part. They barely have a heat map because they barely have touched the ball. So, all should be good. With that being said, we're not going to say any... Well, we'll just turn around and say we've had a lot of shots and we're grand. And we'll continue on forthwith. For myself, Senior Duck, I am tired today, to be honest. So, I'm not 100% sure how long I will continue at this for today, but obviously I'm going to have a bit of a stream anyway and just enjoy it. It's been one of those days where there's a massive amount of humidity here in Ireland. I don't know how the case is with you, how heavy and how tired and how the whole lot is gone, but that's interesting. I'm just after being told there, and I didn't even know we were in from, that Brighton are just after signing the Olympiacos striker, Charalampos Koustalas, effective from the 1st of July on a 5-year deal. That's interesting. I didn't even hear that we were in for him, so interesting that it says that we might have been. The fact that I don't see anyone else really talking about makes me think that it wasn't, and people are just trying to give Brighton a yes. But at the end of the day, you continue on with what you have and see how things are. Scene, you're up. What's a crack-a-lack? 25 degrees here. I mean, it's because I've entered the chat. It's because I've come around, isn't it? My awesomeness just started to project, and the heat around the world has started to rise. But how are you doing on this fine Friday, my friend? Is the crack of 90? Is it all going good? Pansies, huh? Pansies, Doc. Pansies. You see, you don't have the wonderful joy of being this goddamn hot all of the time, and having the change and the fluctuation of humidity cause problems for you. You don't have those type of issues. Myself and up to dashing individuals with charming personalities and incredible good looks have this problem. So you know, it's something we have to deal with daily. Never mind when there's an influx of weather that isn't usual and causes a wee bit of degradation of our form. So I'll have you know, you shouldn't call us a pansy. You should just call us perfection and say thanks for being around. Okay, I'll stop smoking my own hype. And Brim gets an actual goal. Nice to end up seeing it. But a pleasure to hear that it's going well up.
I'm a goofy goober!
I'm a goofy goober! Oh, I love SpongeBob so much.
We're all goofy goobers!
Rock! Oh, genuinely, I love that first SpongeBob movie so much. Old school SpongeBob, where they didn't actually mean for the memes to be memes, is so good. Today's the year where the Patrick Star being blown up while Mrs. Puff is coming towards him, and SpongeBob hyperinflating himself, going, ah! This is the year where that ends up hitting me. So I know the feeling of it. There's a streamer. Well, he's not actually. Well, he does a wee bit, but mostly on Kick. But there's a YouTube channel by the name of More Pegasus who talks about general slop and uses those old school SpongeBob stills, mostly, throughout his content in order to, you know, be real and the whole lot. And it's genuinely awesome to see it. The fact that we've let these guys score is a travesty, to be honest. An absolute travesty of the highest order. So we gave Carlos a go, and he didn't perform particularly well. But you go with what you have. Edmund needs to come off now, so we'll give Laffy a go. Bellingham needs to come off now, so we'll give it to Oscar. And Seller needs to come off, so we'll give it to Burke. And Bob's your Uncle Happy out. I will say one of the things I found really funny about this period of time too is that there's been a lot more people with vitriolic tendencies towards the likes of Ben Jacobs, and what a shot, Shane, that didn't go in. But vitriolic tendencies towards the likes of Ben Jacobs and Fabrizio Romano for attempting to figure out the transfer news and give it to people with enough notice and the whole lot so this doesn't surprise them or that they're not worried about things not going the way they're meant to. And I find it weird that people keep attacking them, calling them frauds and stuff like that. I don't think that's fair for the likes of them. It's not an easy job what they're at. And fair play to them for having the gumption to do it. I know they get paid quite a significant amount of money to do it. But, you know, that's the case with every case, unfortunately. Okay, we'll pause for advertisements, so we'll just wait for that to happen. And we'll see whether or not Aaron is after picking up the ball or giving it away. Was announced there today too that Jey Uso has been declared for the for the King of the Ring tournament. So I wonder if that means that Jey is the mystery person. That Jey is the person that was in that opening slot on Raw. Which, to be honest, is a bit of a... The fact that spoiled that already is a bit of a misnomer and sad, because there's a couple of people that are coming back. I know an awful lot of people were fantasy booking that potentially it could be Omos that was taking that position. And that would have been an interesting choice for me. Even if he didn't get through, it would have been an interesting choice for me to see Omos end up taking it. Sorry, just bear with me 1 second. A personal things have to come through here. Okay, so that has been sorted there. Bob is your uncle. Happy out. We have there. And justice for stealing. I mean, Duck, you are an arsehole, but I suppose that is technically true. United robbed Lenny Euro from Real Madrid. So now Real Madrid have gone out of their way and nicked one Franco Mastantino from United, which is more than fair, I suppose. Unfortunate and semi-annoying, but more than fair, to be honest. But hey, screw it. We'll see how things continue to go. Marco should do a far better job with that. He has time. Those defenders weren't coming into him with any vigor or force or gumption. He should take the time, hold the ball, and go with it. Willem now. Nice attempt. It's a shame even is... I can't say that he's a good keeper. He isn't, but, you know, he done an okay save attempt there. Sloppy passing from us too, which is the unfortunate thing about it. Curlio now coming down there, up there. Imagine if this was a reincarnation of Rodrigo. Aaron ended up doing well on that save, but we shouldn't be allowing them in so tightly for that to even be close to occurring. So we should be looking at ourselves to see why such an incident ended up occurring there for us. In general, this has actually been a rather bad performance by us. I mean, we played a load of youths, so it's good that we performed somewhat well, but in general, it must be stated this has been a bit of a bad performance. The likes of that there, Marco, you'd assume would end up scoring it if the ball was put into his feet, but Joao kicking it a wee bit too far is a showcase of his age. Brahim ended up getting the 2 goals, one of the people that we needed to get a wee bit of confidence in showcasing his goal capabilities, so that's nice to end up seeing. Oscar's not used to that particular position, so you can understand when he ends up coming on, that's a wee bit odd. I didn't realise William ended up having an injury there. That's unfortunate and something we'll need to watch out for in the future. We can't be letting those type of situations occur. We can't be letting potential injuries end up tropping up on top of itself, especially on players we want to end up putting out on loan. But still, in the grand scheme of things, we did overpower them. They started to come back in the second half. As you can see there, Rigo, who set up Infanta. Although I wonder if he was injured, because a double substitution is interesting. Subbed on in the 56th minute, scored a goal, and subbed off in the 81st. So I wonder if he got injured, or was there an additional reason for that particular substitution? Because it seems odd to do such a substitution now, to be honest. Ooh. But with that being said, we got the performance that we wanted out of it. Easily through to the next round of the competition. One that we want to win back-to-back. Having a new signing come in and start to set the world on fire like Brim here with his 2 goals is fantastic to see. You would have liked to have seen the Carlos do well up front as well, and Marco potentially end up getting a goal to continue on his streak, but I guess he did only have 20 minutes against the far inferior competition, so we would expect him to score. Your team is safely through the next round. Can we win it? Of course. Where we are, we have to end up thinking that we'd win it. He was fantastic today. No comment on the injury. No comment on that. I don't really want to comment on the players that are out on loan. In his particular case, he probably will end up being sold. Spanish Third Cup, El Santos in second division turned over Atletico Pamplona. That's not that surprising. Sevilla ended up getting through. Fair enough. So nothing too shocking. Power not a good team, so it's not that surprising to see that they ended up getting kicked out. They are one of the worst teams in our particular league, even though they're 13th at the moment. So not as bad as they normally are. They're normally way further down the table. Well, that's good. He needs the loan. No. Like, I don't want to send all of the team out on loan if I can help it. I'd like to keep 1 or 2 members within the actual team itself to ensure that there's a wee bit of development of the actual players, which would be nice in of itself. Ooh, Jancelo's still around with FC Bayern Munich, moved from Sporting for 59 million quid. I wonder if he is still in contention this summer to end up getting a move from anybody. Fantastic left-sided player. Would be a good option for us if not this season, but next season if it ended up working out. Because he'd be an okay replacement for the likes of Harry Maguire or Martinez, the Butcher, since both of them can play on the left-hand side. Even though Maguire's not really left-footed, so it doesn't really matter in his particular case, but I think you know what I mean. We are after getting Zaragoza. That's actually a fairly good team for us. Yes, they're in our division, and yes, they're okay up there, but it could have been worse. And once again, you can see there Barcelona getting an easy ride through. Andorra, FC Andorra versus Barcelona. That'll be interesting to see. Who did Barcelona get last round? Yeah, they got even lower than we did. Because of course they did. So Barcelona getting an easy pass on these particular matchups, because of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? And we just continue to see what fire ends up coming through the shoots, how we end up performing in all of these situations. If you could get him for about 3 million quid, he might be worth signing as a youth to end up giving a wee bit of development, but then we'll probably have to put him out on loan, and we don't really want to loan out too many more players, because an awful lot of the players that we have out on loan at some point in time we'll end up having to sell if we stick with Real Madrid for much longer. Primarily because we won't be able to actually register them more than anything else. Like if we were to bring back Tano now, maybe he could be effective for us. He wouldn't be, but maybe he'd be effective for us. But if we brought him back, because he's 23, we wouldn't end up being able to sell him. He was worth 19 million quid, so he was worth the purchase just to sell next season anyway. I don't like doing that all that often, but I do it every now and again because I think it's the right way to go about it. Sign someone in, hope that they end up developing the players around them, and then potentially end up selling them off in the near future afterwards. Interesting. Out on loan. Cool. And now we have a press conference for our next match. Club Bruges are more dangerous after the surprising win over Lazio. No, I wouldn't say so. Do you have any concerns about his poor form? Yes, considering he should be far better than that. So we'll criticize him himself. Yeah, that'll get him to improve, and then we will add this extra comment. If he continues to fail, simply put, he will be vendido. Because why not try to add a wee bit of Spanish even though you don't know the language at all? So, you know, pleasure to end up doing that. I'll check it after this press conference now, to be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure it's high enough now. So that's the end of this conference. So with Real Madrid, we go to club info. No, not club info. We go to me. We go to job history. No. How do I check this? We go to overview. Real Madrid stats. We have 203 games played with Real Madrid. Out of those 203 games, we have managed to successfully win 161 of them. We have had 18 draws, and we've had 24 losses. We have a remarkable 79% win percentage with the mighty Real Madrid. We have a goal difference of 482 goals in 1,270 days in charge. 228 goals against us. And to be fair, most of them would have been in the first season when Lucas Chevalier was here, letting in goals like nobody's business. 710 goals scored, 4 cups, 1 league win, no promotions or relegation, but we'd expect that. And we'll continue to go forward and see how things end up going. Our highest fee spent was on Bernard Sellar for 142 million. I actually would have bet that was on Marco, so that's on me. 121 received for Gonzalo Ramos, which was fantastic, to be honest. I don't know how we ended up getting that. But yes, so we'll continue to see how all ends up happening. My highest received transfer and my highest spent transfer have both been at Real Madrid. I have 80%, suck it, bozo. Well, allow me to turn around and say to you that that is 100% fine, Duck. You are the better manager. But with that being said, you can... No, wrong one. You can do that. I wouldn't mind. They're picture coordinated, so I don't know how I clicked the wrong one. And of course, you can also...
Off is the direction you can fuck.
But you know, that's all cracking sound. Oh, I feel so sad for him. Hopefully he ends up rectifying and standing strong again in the near future. Anyways, let's continue on for now. We have a couple of scouting options here, none of which are particularly worthy of looking at. I'd love to bring Salvatore back into my place. Yes, I have a nasty habit of continuing to bring my players back into my squad that I had in former areas. But I don't want to end up bringing back someone who would end up costing 200 million quid to return. With all of that being said, it is funny to see some regens almost hitting 30 now. Yeah, we were going to try and get him. I can't remember why we didn't end up getting him. We'll try that again, see if we end up getting him now. Yes, and we have Club Bruges next, which should be interesting. So, Jakob Brim, Jerby, and Uend are all players we need to end up adding to this register. Who wants to bet with me that there isn't actually 3 places to add all of them? Oh, there is. So fair enough. So... Ooh. Crikey. Why have you frozen? Okay, you haven't. Okay. Let's look for them. Look for them. We have way too many options. But that is all 3 of them put into their position there. Problem with that then is we have someone outside of the range Who do we drop outside of the range? Ben, my friend, what's a crack-a-lack with you? How is your Friday treating you? Have you got up to much today? Is the crack a 90? Is it all going good? Is it all going grand? Is it all going saucy? How is life treating you, my friend? Gunned by Merle. Pleasure to end up having you in. At the moment, honestly, there isn't much to the save. Effectively, at the moment, it's I started at HSV, failed upwards to Crystal Palace. From Crystal Palace, we leapfrogged over to Liverpool, which is funny because I'm a United supporter. We won everything at Liverpool. And now we are with Real Madrid. We are in our 4th season with Real Madrid. We won the league last season, the Super Cup and the Spanish Cup, but lost in the final of the FA Cup. Or not the FA Cup, of the Champions League to PSG. So now this season we're seeing if we can do the quadruple Real Madrid. And then we'll see what ends up happening afterwards on that particular excursion. What type of saves do you do yourself, my friend? Anything exciting in your neck of the woods? Pleasure to hear that you've just been chilling, Ben. What type of save are you doing in your chilling mentality yourself today? Anything exciting going ahead? Anything nice going on? Anything exciting within your save? IRL, of course, Barcelona have signed another goalkeeper. And Faustin Mastantino has made his way to Real Madrid, and in both cases, allow me to say, damn. This whole one or both of them would have been good for United. I'm doing a Schalke save, trying to clear their debt and become a German giant again. That is actually an interesting save. How much are Schalke in debt in your save, Gund? Or have you increased the debt in order to make it more of a challenge? 100 million. Yeah, that's a nasty area to end up having them at. So I can understand that. That sounds interesting, though. The start at 100 million. Like 100 million in the green or 100 million in the red? Because if it's 100 million in the red, that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. And how is it going for you? What season are you in? What season are you in? How's it going for you? Are you doing any, like, any handicaps on you? Like, you can only use Germans for the start of it or anything like that? Or Schalke is Germany, isn't it? Let me check that. Yeah, German. Schalke is German. Bundesliga. Yeah, Bundesliga 2 at the moment. Yeah. Not signing anyone over 29. That's fair. That's fair. Manchester United save, currently first in league. Well, congratulations to you. Who is your primary signing, Ben? Who did you go for? Who is it that changed everything around? What is it that changed the world and everything in it? Ooh. At this point, just go. Genuinely, you're asking me so many times to put him on loan, I can't be arsed. Anyway, our next game is against Club Bruges. We will continue to use Adam in this, or Aaron in this particular game, because I think he deserves the go at it. We also will be using Marco again in his position to see how that ends up going. Justin finally has his position back, and Vinny will end up whinging that he's not getting any game time. Has he whinged yet? He's not whinging about that. So for now, we'll keep Vinny off. We'll put him on at half time if we need to. Up front, we'll go with Oscar. And we'll go with Evandro. We will swap some of these. So Ard will be on the bench. Who else? Gay is too tired. Sechi. We'll put Sechi down here. So that gets rid of all of the people that are unregistered or can't play, which is sound there. Brim performed really good in the ball winning position, actually. Better than he did in the other ones. So I think we keep him there. And we keep Bellingham just to try and rectify his bloody cranky mood. Spoiled brat. And see how that ends up working for us. And then in the back line, we change it up a bit. Selar is still whinging, I'm sure. Yeah, give the appropriate amount of time. So we'll continue to play Selar, even though he's tired-ish. We'll go with Sechi in the middle and Burke on the edge there with Aaron up front. So we'll go Aaron, Burke, Sechi, Selar, Brim, Bellingham, Derby, Adams, Coria, Oscar, and Marco. Not our strongest team to go up against Club Brugge, but we are almost effectively true anyway. If we win this, we're true to the playoffs, if nothing else. And I'm not entirely worried about this. We do have options on the bench and the whole lot. It probably is the type of game where Justin should end up getting a start. But with all that being said too, I do think this is the best way to go with it. So, in we go again to another matchup. Everyone is in good spirits. Wish us some luck when we end up going into this one. Not that we should end up needing it though. But into the fray, we end up seeing ourselves, us with a full bench line, Club Brugge without it. Everyone chants there. The mood is in great formation. Of course, we're unbeaten. We're just brilliant. But Club Brugge could, in theory, be a challenge for us. I don't personally foresee it, but anything can happen in the world of football. Especially when they have a person on their team known as Thiago. Admittedly, Adam is probably one of the changes we should have made. But you know, hindsight is 20/20. And Barcelona straight out of the gate like a bat out of hell. Straight away with the goal versus Lugano. Fascinating to see. Us again inconsistent with our shooting. 4 shots already, 1 on target. That's the type of stuff where you should be doing better. Edmund again, putting in for Marco. Whether or not that's too hard for Marco or just Marco being crap is hard to bloody know. Or Edmund being crap or a combination of the both is hard to know. I'm almost bottled. The DFB Polka, a 5th tier German side, took me to extra time, but scored twice in extra time. Damn. Well, let's hope that
of getting truths gunned, and that there isn't any major issues with it, and you're able to end up getting those 2 goals back. Do let us know what the results are. Marco definitely should score that. I'll give you an internet cookie. I'll give you an internet cookie. If you can figure out what this voice tends to be called, if you can give me an indication of what this voice is trying to be, and failing to be, but trying to be, I'll give you an internet cookie. Apple Music, thank you so much for the likes. Genuinely. You are a saint. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it beyond belief. Suave Radio was, it's actually called The Billionaire with a big old head of the orange carrot. It know, there's a background effect as well. By the way, we're going to pause this for a second. I'm going to pause the music. For everyone that is listening with earphones, please be careful. There is quite a substantial chance this might shock you. Okay, so is this working now? It's meant to end up doing oddness. No. It literally didn't do it. That is fascinating to me. Oh, it has a couple of rounded claws in the background. Some of these have bonkers things in the background. Yeah, this is me making an ass of myself. Like one of the ones that is particularly bad is this one, by the way. If it ends up going random on this.
Well, how are things? Yeah, you can hear the background effect going at you there. While it plays with the voice and everything ends up working a wee bit weird. Yes, it is indeed a radio voice. To be honest, the voice range is a wee bit off because I'm just going through a filter in a filter, so that's me being a tit. I have to work a bit on that to end up saying it because I'm trying to get it loud without breaking, but you know the crack is there. Anyway, Apple user, thank you so much for the follows. Genuinely, I appreciate it. You are a star. Thank you so much for that. I might have to change that to fix it. Gunned by Marley, thank you so much for the follow. You are a gent and a scholar. It's a pleasure to end up having you. We do FM every now and again, and we do variety alongside it as well, so it's a pleasure to end up having you. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. What is the shield start? Come on, you arseholes, show me the bloody lyrics. Special Ops is what it's called. Sierra Hotel, India Echo, Lima Delta, Shield. You know, I actually don't know the phonetic alphabet at all, so it's interesting to end up hearing it in any way, shape, or form. Sierra Hotel, India Lima Delta. Okay, so that didn't work. Okay, so I've managed to screw my voice mod up a bit. It tends to work most of the time, but sometimes it breaks. That's what I get for trying to fix the audio up a bit too much. I was a kamikaze bomber in a past life. That's an amazing stat to end up having for yourself, Duck. Okay. The advertisements after finishing. But. We have to pause again for a second. Okay? Pause again for a second. Because awesomeness is just after occurring. And it is up to me, the fine crack, to break this information to you. In the past hour, Sony Entertainment has done a curveball. Yes. Sony Entertainment has removed nearly 130 countries from the purchase restrictions lists on Helldivers 2 and God of War Ragnarok. As a result of this, they are now available to be played in almost every country across the world, especially those where a PSN network is not available to end up creating. As a result of which now those games and their restrictions, and one of the reasons why I potentially wasn't going for them at all, specifically for Ragnarok, can now end up being played in good conscience with great love. But above all else, and it is unfortunate that it has taken a brand new one for this to be the case, it is now effective and in the case that the Pope can finally dive into Helldivers 2 again. Yes, the Vatican City has been removed. The Vatican City is now allowed to dive back in to Helldivers 2. Yes! What is the new one? Benedict was the old one. What's this new Pope called? Was it Benedict or Francis, the last one? Leo! Pope Leo. I can't do Roman numerals. Pope Leo the 14th can indeed dive into Helldivers 2. I will be heavily disappointed if by the end of the week someone that has the actual capabilities and has spent the actual money for a proper AI creation variant hasn't created a video of the Pope playing Helldivers 2. Or someone hasn't dressed up as the Pope and plays Helldivers 2, which, to be fair, is technically and officially sacrilege. But to be honest, the Pope can now go back in and play God of War Ragnarok and can now play none other than Helldivers 2. It's a great day to be a Sony fan. I wasn't expecting them to do such niceties, such greatness. I mean, I wasn't going to buy any of the games at full price anyway. The only game that I was close to purchasing at full price was God of War Ragnarok, because I played it on a friend's PS5, and genuinely it is a fantastic game. I don't know if it's better than God of War 4, but I love it as a game, and I recommend anyone ends up playing it. I just wasn't willing to spend the full price on it. But now, especially considering they should be on sale with the time that they're on, I might end up looking to getting Helldivers 2, and I might end up getting God of War. And if I get either of them, I probably will end up doing a stream on them. In the near future too, probably on the next stream, I might end up going back. I'll probably end up going back to Claire Obscure Expedition 33, or I'll just do it myself. Marco, you really should have scored that. You know, Duck, with you being a tease, I'm probably better just leaving you to your own devices and not answering you. Like, is there something wrong? Let us know what it is. I ain't a mind reader. I don't know what's going on, so let us know. 17 shots, 5 on target at 2 XG, and it's 0-0. That's atrocious. Absolutely atrocious by us. And what's the FFS about when it comes down to watching I Was Reincarnated as a Slime? Which is actually one of the better animes that are out there. I actually really, really like that anime. Even though I do find it a bit peculiar that Rimaru's personality after he is ascended doesn't continue to be changed. I expected Rimaru to be a bit more aggressive after that, but interesting at the same point in time. So go on. What about currently watching Slime? Has Crunchyroll or something disconnected it from you, or what's the problem with it? Okay, we actually might need to make some changes now. This is concerning. And the team called Falmouth is stealing my starting goalkeeper. The two of them seem to be completely disconnected. The fact that you're watching I Was Reincarnated with a Slime and the fact that Falmouth are robbing your goalkeeper don't seem to be mutually inclusive. But I can understand why it would be annoying. Especially considering the goalkeeper is the second most important position on the field. Second only to the wing backs and second in front of the striker. Oh, God damn it, Oscar. Holy crap, Oscar. Now we now need to make some subs because crikey, that's bad. Guess they'll have to be my substance for my evolution to Demon Lord. Well, I hope there's 10,000 of them. I hope you manage to convince 10,000 people to show up for Falmouth. Derby's performing bad, so we'll put Justin on now and hope that these 3 subs make some difference. It's bonkers that we're not getting much out of this, and in fact, there's more of a chance that Bruges are going to score against us, which is more infuriating than anything. Derby, I mean, wasn't a bad cross by Derby. Just nobody there to help it, and Sechi out of the way. I've watched all of that show. I think there's 3 seasons of it. But I've watched all of that show. I genuinely like that show. I do think the latest season got a tiny bit boring. Too much political drama. But to be honest, I expected it. And I don't mind the political drama in the show. But I can understand why an awful lot of people might have a problem with it. 3 seasons, a movie, and a mini-season. I don't know if I've seen the mini-season, but I did watch the movie. I didn't like the movie. Didn't like the movie at all, to be honest. Not unlike the Overlord movie, where I really like that movie. I don't know why, but when I'm in press or pre-match conference, I act like I'm the man you're talking. Everyone does that, to be fair, Gund. By the way, do you prefer to be called Gund, or do you prefer to be called Marley, just for future reference? Because I'll attempt to call you by what you prefer to be called if I can. But in general, everyone ends up doing that. Marley, fair enough. Then I shall attempt to end up calling him. What the hell is going on with this goalkeeper? We might end up drawing this game because there's nothing we can do about this. This is astonishing. Okay, Vinny now. You're completely in the wrong position, Vinny. Nice. Nice. Dropped into the feet of us, but nice to end up having it. It's all good if you call me Gund, but I prefer Marley. I'll attempt to try and call you Marley now. Don't be surprised if I ask you that again if it's a while before you end up coming back into the chat, but I always end up doing it when I'm not 100% sure. Like Crazed God of the Quack used to be called Duck God of the Quack, and then foolishly changed their name. And then they became the Duck God of Extinct and changed their name again. And now they are Crazed God of the Quack and still prefer to be called Duck, even though they should be called Crazed. So I am nice enough every now and again to call them Duck. But I must let you know, Marley, I am an equal opportunity arsehole, so if I'm feeling particularly mean, I'll just do it to piss you off. But no, yes, I think everyone ends up doing it, especially at the start. I think the big thing is, I like the idea that you can add additional comments. I hate that there are never... Well, I have never seen ramifications or enough changes to make it worth doing it. Yeah, you can get in trouble, especially if you use the F word. Eventually, you'll end up calling you out on it, or a curse of some description. But I don't like how the additional content doesn't have any proper, hit, any proper weight to it. And I'd like if there was a wee bit more to that, since you gave the option. Oh, Justin. That had a deflection and a half in it, but 2 goals is definitely better than 1. So, like, would you end up adding those comments as well? Yeah, that poor goal defender. I watched the Slime movie in theaters and was the worst ever cinema experience. Why? What happened in the cinema that caused that to be one of your worst ever experiences? In my local area, it's not big on anime, so you get to watch those anime movies for maybe 2 days. They pop into it for 2 days, and that's about it. I'm losing 1-0 to Krill at halftime. Well, I believe in you. I send turn around and let your players hear this. Move, you useless sacks of fecal matter. Move, or you will be sent to the gallows where you belong. I do love how, I think it was the Scottish team. I think it was the Scottish team where this happened, where they were trying to get into the Euros or the World Cup, and they had a match which was win and don't get in, and they needed someone to pump them up, and they brought in Martin Sheen to pump them up. The fact that we scored 3 of our 4 goals in extra time with 36 shots and 15 on target, and one of them was a penalty, is a goddamn farce. A farce. Sat there for 14 minutes of added advertisements, and when they finally played the film, it was the wrong one. It involves scenes of men getting goldened on, and an elephant being pushed up a hill, and then what bloody movie was that? What bloody movie was that? Just for pure curiosity sakes, Duck. Pure curiosity sakes. Just to understand, what type of movie was that? You see, Marley, it's because of what I said. It's because of what I said that they came back. Believe in me. If you believe in me, then you can achieve and succeed. Yeah, that's genuinely just bizarre. That's genuinely just bizarre, Duck. So we are top of the Champions League at the moment with 16 points. That should be enough points to put us straight through. Yeah, secure playoff spots, to be fair, but it still should be enough to get us through, I think. I don't actually care about being top, but it's still nice to end up doing it. So, Marley, it's only fair. It's 100% my words of encouragement, Marley. 100% my words of encouragement. It's because of me that youth player got inspiration. I will accept your praise in the form of adoration, hugs, and I joke about that, by the way. But congratulations. Genuinely, congratulations. I suppose you deserve one of these. But it's only fair when it comes down to who I support IRL that you end up having a guess, my dear friend Marley. So, I shall give you 3 hints, and you can figure out who it is that I support. My first hint is that currently, the fact that I am supporting this team makes me a bit of a masochist. I'll give you a go to figure out after that one. The second hint is that I support the biggest club. The team that I support is the biggest club in the city that I am in. However, currently we're not performing like it. That's your second hint. If I saw... Ooh, that's interesting now that you think it's an Irish one. No. So my final hint... is that. And you can figure it out off of that one. Fair play to you, my friend. I am, unfortunately, a United fan, yes. I actually would have laughed my ass off if you said Cardiff. I would have laughed my ass off if you said Cardiff. But yes, I am, unfortunately, a United fan. I actually think we're in a better position than it looks like as well, but... how do you find being a Celtic fan? Considering you are the best team in Scotland, but at the same point in time haven't been performing like you are the best team in Scotland, especially when it comes down to Europe. Like, how do you feel about that? And do you think Brendan Rodgers is and was the right man for the job? I think so as well. Whether or not it'll be under this manager, it's hard to know. It'll take a bit of a clear out, and there are a couple of players there that have just been signed that need to be cleared out as well, like Onana, and that's the problem that ends up coming down there, trying to get rid of players that already need to be gone when there's too much in the way to get rid of them. But at the same point in time, I do think so as well. The United will probably end up coming back. Ooh. Are you any good, Miguel? No, you don't look it. In Europe, we are horrible. I don't mind him. I just think Ange should have stayed a bit longer. I feel so sorry for Ange Postecoglou. Genuinely, I feel so sorry for him. Although, that being said, I gave this hypothesis to a couple of people there the other day. Do you, with Ange Postecoglou, if you were him, go to where your successor left? Do you, as Ange Postecoglou, hop straight into Brentford? Considering Brentford are going to need a manager now, would that be the option? Would Brentford take him? More importantly, but would you go to Brentford? Would that be one of the options you end up taking, or would you wait and go across to the European Isles and go somewhere akin to there and get new options there? It's interesting to see. I think he was right to leave ye when he had the option. Tottenham was too big of a chance not to take it. Although it is funny that if he did wait a wee bit longer, there is quite a substantial chance that he might have gotten our job, you know, funnily enough. Oh. mean, I'll play you in a bit anyway, but I'm not promising you anything. I'm sure Hope Rogers leaving Celtic in the future is by the sack. I think it probably will be, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't see him achieving anything with Celtic, but maybe Celtic will like that he's bringing a wee bit of stability to you, but I think it'll be by the sack. I mean, that could potentially be an option. To go to somewhere like Lens or Monaco. I don't know. I'd say it's unfortunate that he didn't get sacked in the same situation of it's unfortunate he didn't wait a week to because if he had waited a wee bit longer, there was quite a substantial chance he might have gotten the United job. But because he got sacked a wee bit later, I think there might have been a chance that he would have taken Bayern Leverkusen instead of Ten Hag. But at the end of the day, it does seem like Bayern Leverkusen knew for a while that Alonso was leaving. So that Ten Hag deal might have been done a hell of a lot quicker or earlier in the year than we know. But it will be interesting to see where he ends up going. I like Ange. I do think his stubbornness is what caused him to get sacked more than anything else. And I don't think Thomas Frank is the right man for Spurs. But funnily enough, I do think now that they've had a taste of silverware, he might end up getting something like a Carabao Cup. I could see Spurs getting knocked out of the league phases of the Champions League now, to be honest. But we also don't know who they've ended up signing or anything like that, so time will end up telling how all of that ends up going, you know? I mean, it's one of those situations, if I understand it, but if the option ends up coming to leave to the Premier League, you just have to take it. It's the biggest league in the world. You have to take that opportunity. So there was never going to be a situation where he didn't take that job. I understand what you're saying. He was doing well at Ajax. He was starting to build something. He got the freedom there and the whole lot. But I don't know. I don't think I agree with you, Marley. It's one of those situations of you have to take the bullet at some point in time, don't you? And that was his time. That was his time to take the bullet. God damn it, guys. Calm your tits a bit. Okay. We have to get a win out of this so that it keeps our tiny bit of edge over Barcelona. So we'll put Jason O'Connor back in. I honestly hope if Celtic go through to the Champions League stage, we get Spurs at Celtic Park, because it would be a tough game, but I reckon we'd get 3 points at home. I mean this with all the love in the world, Marley. I think even with the team that Tottenham have now, especially considering most of them will be fit by the time that match will probably end up happening, and unless you're the final match of the league phase, genuinely, if that ended up happening, genuinely, I think you'd end up getting beaten 3 if not 4-0. I don't think you're good enough yet. I genuinely don't think you're good enough yet. So we'll go with a Gate here. We'll give Austin back in there. We have Seller here. Ard Guller needs to play, so we'll put Ard there. We will put Vinny on and Marco up front. I don't think Enric is ready yet, is he? Oh, yes, Enric is back. Nice. Enric is back, and we need one more. So... Although you're tired, so we'll go put you out, Pedro, there. So this is the team that we're going to go with for this game. O'Connor, Cellar, Lebe, Hines, Ugarte, Brim, Vinicius Jr., Gale, Bellingham, Ardguller, and Marco. And we should end up getting a nice win out of this one now. It shouldn't be too big of a challenge. Atletico Bilbao are strong and still have both of the Nico bros, by the way. Nicholas Williams. And I think the other one is there as well. Oh, they must have sold his brother. Yeah, they must have sold his brother. Interesting. That's surprising. I'm actually genuinely surprised. When did they do that? Oh no, he definitely was there earlier on. I ended up seeing both of the Williams there. Maybe I'm going to Lulu. Maybe the other brother ended up retiring. Anyway, who knows? I might be going to Lulu. Chat. Might be going to Lulu. But anyway, we'll go into this one now and see how things end up going. Ugarte needs to end up being grand in this game after giving him the chance to do it. So let's see how things end up going. Thiago Mata versus Crack Attack. They have Nico Williams as their captain. Nothing particularly strong in our way. We should be fairly sound in this particular matchup now. Let's just bout everyone on and give them a nice owl shout to see how things are going to end up going. Gata seems a little bit happier. Brim is nervous, but I mean, he's been getting more opportunities, so it's a bit understandable why he'd be nervous. There's not really much you can end up doing about that. So, with that being the case, once this advertisement finishes, we'll start the game and see how things end up going. So just bear with us now while the advertisement goes ahead, and then we'll continue on. See how we do on this particular contest as well. Kula bula now. Sorry, there's one thing's coming up here that I need to check. Do that. We do this. Do that. Do this. Cool. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Then change this over to there. Then do that, this, and that. Okay, and we wait for that. Joys of this particular segment here. I just think it's the best thing to end up doing. It gives people a wee bit of a break in between. It allows the Twitch stream to end up working grand and everything as well. So we'll just wait for it to end up going through, and then Bob's your uncle happy out. So the ads have just finished there. Everyone is in good spirits. Well, mostly everyone. Cellar, ironically, not in great spirits. And we see how things end up going here. So in we go now into the fray, and we see how we end up doing. It's challenging opposition, but should be one that we're able to end up doing it now. Interesting that you're asking about the youth signing we're just after doing. Um, Interesting. What are you meant to say there? I know that'll piss off the youth, but what typically would you end up saying there? Because you kind of have to just piss off the youth in that case. And just go with the situation that you have and hope that things end up going well. Hugo now. This, to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of this type of color of blue jersey as well. But there's something about the Bilbao way that they hold it that it actually doesn't look that bad. Cellar in theory is meant to be one of the best. Ooh. Shocked that didn't actually go in, to be honest. I honestly hope. Oh no, it's the same thing. Oh, okay, that sucks. Sorry, the club's debt is 172 million. I haven't done anything. We're at 100 million overall balance. Hey, having some money is good to end up having. Oh, there's nothing wrong. Don't worry about it, Marley. It's sound. I just missed the one above it. Having at least some money, even when you're in bonkers amount of debt, is a good way to end up helping you get out of it. Unfortunately, it is an unfortunate fact of life that the only way to get out of debt is to spend money to get into it. There's no way to get out of debt if you don't get into debt, which is an insane fact, but is unfortunately a true one. But yeah, no. How are you finding? Like, what have you done with the saves so far? Like, are you selling any of the main teams? Is it just to continue to go until you eventually end up making a profit? Is it to win the league whilst improving the profit margin of the club? Like, is it that you're going to be sustainable for a while with them? I think that's offside. Oh no! God, that actually went in. Nice. That's one hell of an angle to get a header in too, Bellingham. Ardguller and Bellingham doing a fantastic job there. Look at how tight that is, and look at that angle. That's a genuinely beautiful goal. Like, that's a genuinely beautiful goal. That's a Pulis Award goal right there, to be honest, with the angle that ends up going through. Oh! Oh, Art! You asked for the game time. We're giving you the game time, and you are succeeding, my friend. My starting 11 is 30 and under. Youngest player 17. Well, happy out for that. And is it just a random under 17 player that was a part of the squad when you joined it in Schalke? Or is there a Schalke player that is under 17 that is actually somewhat competent that you have to help you at the moment? Or did you purchase that under 17 player? Because that is one of the problems of trying to end up getting players too young. They have a problem where they won't leave their country until a certain age. Marco, you needed that goal. That is so good. I'm focusing on the league and the cup currently. I'll start selling and I finish this season as my players will go up in value. Happy out. Happy that you're able to find them. It's brilliant when you end up finding someone of good talent and it ends up working things up that way. We are performing far better here than we are in normal cases. And that, to be honest, I don't know how to feel about that goal. It's good from Marco to end up getting that goal. Beautiful that it ended up working and it went through with the correct way in order for it to work. However, it's obvious reflection off of the goalkeeper. He didn't do it as cleanly and as effectively as some other cases would end up having. Like, for example, if Vinny ended up taking, or if Enric ended up taking that shot would have went directly straight into the back of the net. There wouldn't have been any issues with it at all. So it is quite fascinating to me that that bounced off of his leg. Marco needs to boost up his average a bit, so getting these goals is good to end up seeing. So we'll see how it continues to go. I'm going to hope Rooney Barjin doesn't go up in price, because I'm going to try and sign him next season. He doesn't typically tend to, Marley. In the saves that I have seen and the few that I've tried, his €21 million release clause tends to stay intact for at least a season, if not two. I think it's 21 million anyway. My only problem with that particular player on FM, unless they have it updated in one of the latest patches, which is a distinct possibility, is he's just insanely right-footed. Benny, why? Why is that too many hours? 16 hours sounds like a beautiful number, but in fact, you should stick around and round that up. Ensure that it goes to 24. Listening to the crack irradiate your ears, accentuate your groins, and make you feel happy inside is beautiful for all to end up having.
Off is the direction you can
Hey,
fuck.
Marley, I've been speaking so well that you missed 10 minutes of your life, my friend. I know, too. Isn't it funny how that works? I don't actually know if it tells you the seconds. I think it is just you're in the 50 minutes, but it could be 50 minutes on the dot. Oh, God, this is only half-time and we're 4-0 up. I'm only after noticing that. I thought this was near the finish of the game. This has been 4 games in a row where at half-time we have stopped them from having a single shot on target. Now, we'll capitulate in the second half. But, like, when you're performing like this, it doesn't really matter. But it is interesting. But it's good that we're performing so good, that we're keeping things up. This formation seems to be working surprisingly well, that all is going good. Gay now, can Gay score? Nice save by their particular keeper now. Well, I think Benny actually left. I think Benny is sad at the fact that his numbers were so high and he ended up leaving. Oh, no. I have the users in chat at the background there, and I was wondering whether or not it was still lurking. Sometimes it lies, because you never trust Twitch. You never know who's in your chat. But it's always funny to end up attempting. Plus, I just wanted to hear your beautiful language and your pink icon. Hamburg are rock bottom in the league, like 8 games with 2 points. Oh, so they're aiming for Southampton. They're aiming for Southampton now. I still think that's one of the funniest things that any football club has done. To recognize your own ineptitude and start making jokes at the fact that you just are slightly better than Derby. Like, they're still one of the worst relegated sides in Premier League history. But astonishing that they end up taking the piss out of themselves. Oh, Benny. Oh, don't worry. As I say, I support lurking. I'm just pulling the piss with you. It's just you were gone out of the chat there, and I was pulling the piss with you. But I'm happy that things are working out on your own end. You don't. I don't expect anyone to be consistently chatting. I don't even do it myself when I'm in people's streams. Well, I lie. I do that a lot, actually. I never shut up when I'm in other people's streams. I'm sure you can contest to that, Benny. I'm always talking. I never shut the hell up. Yeah. Do that. Ah, that would make sense. That would make sense. You disappeared for a bit as a result of your reboot. Your reboot of the assets. I don't know why Rangers decided to get rid of Russell Martin. I think it's quite stupid. He got the second worst points in Premier League history as a manager. Yeah, but here's the thing. Steven Gerrard failed everywhere since he left Rangers, and he didn't do too bad at Rangers. Rangers just, and the Scottish League isn't as intensive. You have 3 games where your capability as a manager actually matters. So, you know, maybe that's the case. And he's young, so if he actually ends up developing and learning and improving, you have him for years. So maybe that's the reason, but I do tend to agree with you a bit on that one, Marley. You do tend to be a bit of a flipper-gibbet. How did he pronounce that? Flipper-giblet. Crack. Yeah, but you know you love it. You know you love it. When I come into your Action Tan Moran streams and I end up spewing the crap with you, and even more so when if you end up doing Stellar Blade and I end up looking at the beautiful design of the world and the gorgeous environments and the incredible character displays and the incredible weapon designs and the astonishing boss aesthetics. You know you love when that ends up happening. I mean, there's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B in that. You always want to say the assets, don't you? 5-0 is a good result for this game. I would have liked for one of the subs to have done a wee bit better there, but they've done good for the job that they did. Brim, again, performing particularly well there. Yeah, you need to figure out why it's not performing right. No, I understand that. Although, I was saying it earlier on, today Sony's after releasing the ban on their games. So, they're no longer illegal to play in 130 countries out of the world. So, the Pope can now once again dive into Helldivers, and people can play God of War Ragnarok. So who knows, in the future I might end up purchasing one of them and have a bit of fun with it. But I have no real inclination of buying them at $40 or $60 euros. You know, I'd love to buy a Switch 2 at the moment and play Mario Kart, but I ain't cracking 600 quid on that either. So, you know, yeah. A kerfuffle. A kerfuffle is what it is. Interessante. It's a kerfuffle of epic proportions. I lose 60 FPS the moment I open OBS. That does seem interesting now. That does seem odd that OBS is hogging that much of your computer. Just play pretty football, get rewarded for the next job. Company's the same. Company was a bit different, though, to be honest, Duck. Company just screwed Burnley. Because Burnley were going to stick with him. And he had his game style there. And he plays in a unique way, and those players had followed behind them. Company just screwed Burnley. Like, genuinely, he should never be praised for what he did. Even though he's doing well at Bayern Munich, which would be hard not to with that team. I think he should never be praised for what he's doing. Gary Miller Def, thank you so much for the follow. It is a pleasure to have you here, my friend. What's a crack-a-lack, and how are you doing today, my friend? Is your Friday going good? Is it all going grand? Is it all going saucy, my friend? Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Crack Addicts, and attack it all with myself. Pleasure to hear. Are you an FM fan yourself? Are you a streamer from one of the other associations? What brings you here, my friend? Company didn't screw Burnley, in my opinion. They never had a chance to begin with. I don't agree. And the reason I don't agree is the season that they were up in the Premier League, he stubbornly refused to change his play. Okay? He done it, Ange Postecoglou. He stubbornly refused to change his play. They had a good enough team, and maybe this is copium. I think they had a good enough team to drop down one of the other teams there. I don't think they were necessarily bad enough to be an automatic demotion side. And I think his stubbornness not to change the formation in order to deal with the fact that people had started to find out that his play to get up from the championship didn't work. And I think the reason why Burnley were okay with the fact that he was playing the way that he was is because they thought he would stay with them, play the way that he did in order to get them promoted in fantastic fashion, get them promoted again. The parachute money would give them enough money, and then they'd end up giving him enough to stay up properly again. I think they had a 3-4 year plan with him, and him leaving screwed the entirety of the thing. Maybe that's copium, maybe that's unrealistic, maybe I'm just completely wrong. But that's my viewpoint on that situation, Benny. Let me know if you think that's horse manure for me, or what you think. I'm a FM streamer, mate. Play in person. FM streamer, mate. Play in person. Happy out! And what were you streaming? Like, what's your save? What was the last save that you were streaming, my friend? Oh, yeah, by the way. Forgot to do it. You have to remind me to do... By the way, you're a mod, Benny. You can do this for yourself when you end up popping in. You should do this when you end up popping in. But for anyone who has ended up popping in and hasn't had a chance to do it on any of the platforms, they're on Twitch. But please, end up looking at the good old man himself, Benekage. A fine old streamer, deserves the love, deserves the praise, and deserves you to end up having a look at them. Brilliant at the FM, brilliant at... Hero of Iron 4, is that what it is? And a number of other niche games that are pretty much dead, but he enjoys them. But it's a pleasure to end up having them at them. But Gary, my friend, thank you so much for coming in. South Shields, you're not the first person, and I doubt you'll be the last to end up stating that South Shields is the team that you end up going. How's it going with them? Are you doing well? When I used to stream, you streamed with Streamlabs. Is that the case, Marley? You streamed with Streamlabs? I mean, it's an option. There's tons of options out there, and there's more coming out. I know some people use Meld Studio. Some people use oh god, what's the name of it? Obviously OBS. There's another one as well. I'm losing it. Just use Stream Elements itself and just build everything off of Stream Elements. But yeah, there is another one. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But Meld Studios is the other big one that I ended up hearing before that's meant to be getting somewhat big. But hey, happy out that you just ended up starting. And what's the goal of the save? Are you doing anything in particular? Are you doing anything nice and saucy? Any changes? Anything experimental with it? Also, we're going to get rid of our good old player here, our Portuguese native. 24 years of age, so very young to end up sending off. But for 100 million quid after purchasing for 36 million, we have to say goodbye to him. He's fantastic due to his malleability. He can play in the DM and he can play in the AMC. So he's been able to do a good old job for us in the 4 positions that we have. But for this amount of money, we have to let him go. So with that, we end up saying goodbye to Stefian Morgian as he ends up heading off and enjoys his new place with Manchester City. Maybe in the future we might end up seeing him again. But it is one of those moments where you hate seeing a good player go. But you have to let them leave. Build career, move on. Right, I am going to head off to bed. Good work, glad to be part of your community. Perfect, Gary. Please come in anytime. I will end up giving you a follow back. And if I can, I'll end up spotting your stream yourself. If you want to, join the Discord. The link is up there at the top. It's been pinned. And let us know when you're streaming, and if it ends up fitting me, I'll end up having a gawk at it now myself and see how things end up going. But have a great night's sleep. Make sure your crack is 90. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Shlán go fóill, and as always, poke me home, my friend. Please do. Everyone is welcome. There are multiple server connections a whole lot. We'll be expanding it more and more as more things are added on. There'll be a Warhammer section added to it eventually at some point in time. There's a wrestling section, there's an FM section. Just go to the rules section and end up clicking on it, assign it to yourself, and then the rules should end up popping up so that you're not inundated with random crap. And just make sure that the crack is 90. Damn it. 6 to 8 months with a crucial ligament. At 16 years of age, that could be incredibly detrimental. I hate seeing a crucial ligament injury. It's such a hard injury. Like, in real life, it's a pain in the arse, but just in general, I hate seeing it. I hate seeing it as an error. So, Benny, if you are, FYI, I will not shout myself out, no self-promotion. If you feel it necessary or want to do it, it's fine. But I will not do myself. I am not my channel, not my decision maker. I mean, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying if you want to, you can do it. It's just the option there for you. If you want to go that type of way, that's fine. I just have a nasty tendency to forget to do it unless a raid ends up happening. And I should end up doing it a wee bit more. I also need to try and figure out a way to merge shout out and exclamation mark SO so that both work at the same point in time, because legitimately I'm just too lazy to do both. But that's future cracks fun to figure out. If I win against Berta, I go second in the league. Well, then I will be crossing my fingers, my toes, and everything else I can cross, my friend, in order to hope that you end up winning that contest. You win against that team and end up getting to the promised land of second. And then continue to move forth and forthwith and get to the promised land of first. I believe in you. And Sony and Forbes have reported it's their largest PC launch in terms of numbers of units sold ever. Well, I mean, it doesn't help. It certainly doesn't help that in terms of the games that they had before, they literally crippled them. Like, they crippled Helldivers. Helldivers was growing into a phenomenal scene, into a phenomenal group, a phenomenal segment of players, and would have continued to grow if they didn't completely screw it by banning it in multiple countries, which burnt an incredible amount of the streamers. Like, I know he's persona non grata at the moment. It's weird to end up having it, but Pirate Software's Discord had 5,000 people there playing that game and growing when that was there, and as a result of that, people stopped, and it did, and I don't care what anyone says, it did negatively affect the launch of God of War Ragnarok as well, because it was still in place when Ragnarok ended up getting released, and it definitely negatively affected that, unfortunately for God of War Ragnarok, and unfortunately for the Sony games. But now that it has been released, it'll be interesting to see whether or not people will start going back to Helldivers 2. If they were smart, this release of the ban on those particular countries, which would end up getting back the goodwill, this release would come with a expansion pass or an improvement or some patch update of significance to Helldivers 2 to bring a newfound appeal to the game. I don't have it. However, I would 100% be interested in looking into it again if the community started to build itself and end up going into it. I need to give it a new name to that, because it currently doesn't do anything for Discord, but it is an increment counter to let you know how many times you've checked into the stream. So I'll come up with a new name for that in the future, or effectively figure out a way to make it actually link to your Discord. But yeah, that's Future Crack's problem. Kudabula. Let's do that. This is Galatasaray. I don't have the Turkish league active, but I'm sure they're going to be strong enough. So, let's see. For this, what is the best way to go about it? We need to have a bit of fire and brimstone in our step. Enric is back, but Marco has been performing good. Do we give Enric his game to give him a wee bit of firepower back? I believe we do, so I think we go with Enric up front. Ard still needs to get some game time, as does Bellingham, so I actually think we keep the front the same. We can bring Oscar on later on. Loffy, I think he needs the game time, so I think we go Loffy and Ugarte, and then bring on Eduardo and Warren Emery later on if we need to. I think Gale also needs the game time, so I think we keep Gale there with Foster on the wing. Vinicius does need the game time, but I actually think it's fair to give Justin the start. Seller will end up complaining, so we keep Seller there. We go and we play Sechi again in the centre and hope he doesn't perform bad, and we put Burke at the end there. Champions League, so we're going to be fair and we're going to give Aaron his go. So we go Aaron, Burke, Sechi, Seller, Ugarte, Loffy. It's Josh, isn't it? Justin, Gale, Bellingham, Ardguller, and Enric. And that will be the team that we go for when we end up starting this after the advertisement ends up going in. Top 5 non-free-to-play games by sales this week on Steam. 5, Helldivers 2. Nice to see it coming up again now that this has been dropped. I guarantee you that Helldivers 2 is literally in the last hour, Benny. I could almost guarantee you that the boost in Helldivers 2 in purchases has been in the last hour. I could almost guarantee that that's the case due to the announcement. The Altars, I don't have a clue what the Altars is. I genuinely don't know what it is. Five Nights at Freddy's, The Secret of the Mimic. The fact that that game is €40 for an 8-hour game is a travesty. People will shout about Mario Kart being 80 quid. Fair enough to you. That game is €40 for 8 hours. I mean, if you crack it out by hour, I suppose it's not that bad. But you're spending like each their own. Not my cup of tea. Dune Awakening. I haven't played it. I've watched a couple of people play it. I understand the mixed feelings for it, but I think Dune Awakening, you need to be a fan of the Dune franchise to properly enjoy it. And Stellar Blade, it's goon material. It just is. But it's a good game as well as goon material. But to be fair, it's nice to see it. I do think now that PlayStation know their IP will sell so well off of the Sony platform, is there a need for Sony to continue to make a console? Console gaming will always be a thing. And the handheld will end up working for that. So do they make a PS6? Or do they just make a handheld that uses a cloud environment that connects straight up and plays their games down in a cloud environment? Considering by the time that comes around, Wi-Fi 6 should be a thing. 6G should start to be implemented out. Internet should be strong enough that cloud-based gaming should be good enough. Do you put your eggs in one basket and forget about the PlayStation 6 and go straight for a proper PlayStation handheld? I know they're doing that anyway, but the PlayStation handheld they ended up announcing isn't actually that impressive. But I'm curious if that's the way you end up going about it. Do they though? Because the Switch broke all of the records of this generation. It even bet its own console. The Switch is the most successfully sold console in the last 10 years. Switch 2. Which is a joke. A joke that people ended up doing that. But, Say that if you want to. It is a console. That's the reason that the docking station's in it. Unfortunately, it is a console. And I also disagree with the fact that they're not consoles just in principle. But I understand what you're saying there. But, yeah, I mean... I don't know if it dominates, though. I think the Xbox One is on terms with it. I don't know. I haven't looked at the stats in a while. And I understand that it's there. But I just think the Steam Deck is a better option. Now, at the moment, with the Steam Deck being 600 quid and it can run effectively any game, I genuinely think the Steam Deck is just the option. I think you just go Steam Deck. I don't think you go PS... I don't think you go PlayStation. But again, maybe some people don't want the handheld. I don't know. They'll have enough people doing the marketing to know the ways around it. So, heaven forbid listening to me as a schmuck as I am. So, time will end up telling how that ends up going. Someone made an FPV mod for it. Okay, so which game are you saying it has insane mods for? Is that Stellar Blade or is that Helldivers? If you don't mind me asking, because I'm just Stellar Blade. Fair enough. I would wait. Benny. And the reason I would wait is these OLED versions are at least a year, if not a year and a half old. I would be shocked if they didn't release stronger versions of them in the next year. So, I would wait if I were you. Well, fair play to you. I don't need them. Like, the PC gaming is enough for me. Any of the games I end up missing, I don't mind missing. Like, if I wanted to now, I'd end up purchasing Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I don't think it's worth 60 quid, so that's the reason I haven't purchased it. There are very few... exclusive games that interest me. The only thing that would get me to buy a PlayStation at the moment would be the Souls-like games. Demon Souls and all of them. But that's because I haven't played them. But that's my opinion on it. That may be true, Crack, so long as they remain backwards compatible. If they release a PS4, PS5 Max, and I can't play PS4, I won't buy that version. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But the PS4 in general isn't region-free. I don't think the PS4 is region-free. I'm almost positive it isn't. I know the Nintendo consoles aren't. Are you sure about that? I was almost positive they weren't region free. Again, I just the PS5 hasn't intrigued me. The main thing that annoyed me about the PS5, out of principle, I didn't sign it because they got rid of the disc drive, and I know that's going to be a thing of the past anyway. But just getting rid of the disc drive meant that physical media was dying, and I legitimately worry when the Steam see what a goal by Jude. Oh, I hope that isn't offside. That's a beautiful, beautiful goal. What a goal. But I genuinely worry when Gabe Newell passes away that there's going to be a scary, scary situation with gaming. And I don't know what's going to end up happening. When that ends up happening, I fear for what comes, to be honest. Well, I'm losing 1-0 to Hertha, but penalty check for me. Happy out. You should make your goalkeeper take the penalty. Happy out, Marley. It's a pleasure to hear that you're 1-1 up. Justin now, straight to Sechi to Guller. Holy crap, Guller. Genuinely, that's my reaction to that goal. Look at this goal. Look at the rocket that goal is. Holy crap. That is simply beautiful, beautiful goal. What happened? Sorry. Benny. Galatasaray.
What happened?
I don't know what that means, Duck. I don't know what that means. Sienk Tossen. Is that a player or something else, or I don't know what that means. Could you please expand for me, my friend? I love that clip so much, by the way. I do need to add more to this actual stream deck at some point in time. Like, these are all the custom ones that I've made. I have a couple of other custom ones that I ended up making that I could end up doing. And they're on the vertical stream as well, although the cover folds vertical stream, so I might need to mix and worry with the opacity a bit to make it a wee bit better for them. But I like having the option to end up doing them. Like, obviously, anytime I want to, I could just end up doing that as well, you know? Do you use a Steam Deck yourself? C-E-N-K. Thank to Sun. Okay, I expanded it. Thank to Sun. Okay. C-E-N-K. Thank to Sun. I don't. I sorry, the joke has just gone. Woo! My apologies, Duck. Just gone. Completely gone. Maybe it's a sign of my age. Maybe it's a oh, like he literally meant that way. Okay. Fair enough. Well, then in that particular case, I think we know what needs to happen. That has to happen. The rudeness of you, Duck. You deserve it. I don't typically like to end up admonishing my power, but you deserve it for the rudeness you displayed towards the addict, towards the wielder of the best crack. It was a 2-minute timeout, by the way. Former Everton forward, so cool to say. I need to get that still from SpongeBob. Yeah, one eternity later. So yeah, explain it to me if you can do, Benny, because I still don't understand it. I still am a foolish fool who foolishly walks around with foolish fools. Also, by the way, this is the 5th game in a row where they haven't achieved a single shot on target at halftime. That is beautiful to see. We're performing fantastic today. Can you hurry up, SpongeBob? I'm running out of time cards. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's beautiful. All the stuff I play for like goals when we concede, when we win an FM, yeah, it's all YouTube videos. I ain't got a stream deck. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I like all of this crap is custom made by me. It's not a YouTube video or anything like that. I have just random music stills that I've ended up putting together and ended up doing that. Like, I edited this to end up stating that, obviously. I actually ended up editing this as well, like getting this and editing it a tiny bit in order to help for me. And then the other ones are just regular clips that are just been merged together. Then there's other stuff I need to work on. Like I need to figure out a way to make some of the more exciting bits a bit more usable. Like I might end up putting channel points in place for the likes of this, you know, with channel points for that, you know, give it a wee bit more fun for people, you know. You spin my hair right round, turn it upside down. Really? A penalty? Really? God damn it. Let's see if Alex or Aaron can save this. Nope. Oh, it's ours. Never mind. I'm sorry to hear that, Marley. I'm sorry to hear that. So what? It ended as a 2-1 score, is it? Proceed to smash thing holding a PC. I know that was something that an awful lot of people were really annoyed about with the Switch, with Switch 2, that it wasn't there, because they started adding GameCube games to the classic store of the online store, and people were bothered, perturbed, is tad that that Smash Brothers Melee wasn't there, you know. But it'll probably get added at some point in time. So how important was that game, Marley? That wasn't a cup. That was just a regular league game, right? Or was that an important one? I mean, yeah, I have, Duck. Well, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite? I hate the fact that an awful lot of people end up doing shipping for that show, especially during the original series when they're all about bloody 15. I know it ends up being with Carly and Freddie together anyway, and then it got cancelled, which is ironic. People waited 15 years to do and then to get together, and then they cancel the bloody show. Although, a show that has been cancelled too, and I don't think anyone will end up crying a weep for it, is Big Mouth. Big Mouth got cancelled there as well by Netflix, and I don't think anyone is going to be anyway sad about it. And then the spin-off of that show has been cancelled as well after 2 seasons of that and 7 seasons of Big Mouth, I think. It's either 7 or 8 for Big Mouth. It is, to be fair, although the backstory behind that series is horrible. Some of the shit that they ended up doing to Jennifer McCarthy, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is atrocious. Atrocious, and that Stephen Moffat should no, it's not Moffat. Stephen Moffat is the book who does Doctor Who, but the book who was in charge of iCarly, negging on a girl with an eating disorder is a joke, an absolute joke, and the fact that no one stood up for her is deplorable as well. That's the reason why. Well, to be fair, she hates her. That she has a contemptuous relationship with her mother, or did when she was alive. So you know, Jeanette McCarthy doesn't like acting anyway, which is unfortunate because she's a very good actor. Out of those 3 actors, main actors, she's probably the best actor out of a lot of them. I know that Miranda Cosgrove has gotten a lot of roles, but I always thought Miranda Cosgrove was a bit overrated as a child actor, which is awfully mean to say about any child actor. To me, I think, I know successfully this would be a different kettle of fish, but I think it's 3-way race as to who would be the most well, 4-way race. Yeah, 4-way race as to who was the greatest child actor for their time. Because God, even though he ruined his career, the Home Alone actor, Macaulay Culkin, was a special child actor. He really knew how to act. He was astonishingly good actor, astonishingly good actor. Frankie Monroe or Monet was another Malcolm from Malcolm in the Middle, phenomenal actor who just that show and the publicity ended up ruining him. 11 from Stranger Things is a fantastic actress herself, and always was from the time she ended up coming down. Billy Bobby Brown, but the shit she's had to go through is disgusting as well. Then obviously you have the likes of Ben Affleck and Channing Tatum, who are all child actors as well. Phenomenal child actors in of themselves. Ryan Reynolds as well, and of course one of the greatest sci-fi child actors of all time, the fabulous Will Wheaton. I've recently started watching Star Trek: The Next Generation. God, this is acting atrocious, but to be honest, everyone's acting in that show is atrocious. Watching Star Trek, and to be fair, this is the problem with Who as well. Watching Star Trek through a modern gaze of acting is wow. It feels like Patrick Stewart was phoning in 90% of that show. Gibby's girlfriend was one of the adult. Wow, really? I didn't know that. Now, that's it. Yeah, Dan Schneider, arsehole, absolute arsehole, duck. A 5-0 win versus Galatasaray, a good owl success for us. We can't complain about that. Now that should guarantee us. That should guarantee us the final spot, because I think it is only 8 games in the league. I don't think it's 10. Yeah, it only was 8, so that guaranteed us the spot. The spot has been secured for us. We qualified for the 16 and in the second place too. Not that it matters at all, but it's nice to end up having that, and we continue on that way. Why were so many Disney actors on Barney the Dinosaur Show? It's scary the amount of feet-related comedy on old Nickelodeon. Yeah, but they're all bloody. Like, they're all fetishized arseholes in that type of situation. Like, old Hollywood is disgusting, and everyone knew it. Everyone knew it, but no one was willing to say it. I remember watching... God, it must have been in 08. I think it was in 08. Oh, what's her name? She plays... she's the voice actress for Fiona and Shrek. Cameron Diaz? Is that her name? Yeah, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz came out and told people about Harvey Weinstein in 08, and no one gave a crap. She turned around and she said, I think it was Cameron Diaz. I could be getting the actresses mixed up, so apologies if I am, but I'm almost positive it was Cameron Diaz, where she was asked at an award ceremony on the red carpet, what was one bit of advice you would end up giving an actress coming into the movie industry at the moment at any age? Never go into a room with Harvey Weinstein alone. Like... You know? I don't actually know if it was. Is that you being facetious, Duck, or was it actually a foot at one point in time? Because I don't actually know if it was. Because that's interesting if it was. Wow, that's shocking to me. Okay, so that's a goalkeeper coach. Is he better than our goalkeeper coaches? I can't be arsed. We have the best coaching squad in the world. I can't be arsed. That's hilarious. If they come in and offer me 105 million quid for him, I'll sell him. I'll sell him. Yes, I will take part of the transfer day, but I'll take part of the transfer day on the next stream I do of FM. So, I'm going to finish up here now, guys. So, I do this in 2 ways. I say goodbye to everyone on Kick, YouTube, and TikTok first. And then I look for a raid for everyone on Twitch, so you effectively get to have the goodbye twice. If you want extra points, please stay around for the raid. And please, it's nice for everyone to end up having it as well. So, bear with us now a minute as we end up doing that. For everyone on Kick, which is no one. For everyone on TikTok, which I think there might be one or two, actually, funnily enough. Someone ended up giving me 1,000 likes, and I appreciate that beyond belief. And everyone on YouTube, where I had a 5-second cameo where someone came on to one of the viewers. So I'm growing, damn it, I'm growing. Thank you so much for coming in. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. Make sure your crack is 90. Make sure that everything is great. Slán go fóill, my friends, and as always,